What's going on, everybody? I'm Patrick from POWLAX, where we create confident coaches because confident coaches create great environments for players. And in this video, we're going to be going through a drill that has become one of my absolute favorite everyday skill drills because it teaches players exactly what they're going to be doing on the field. Reps are going to be based on intensity, not necessarily getting 30 to 40 reps. And if you have a team that has a lot of newcomers or players who are young, you can take out one of the players and make it a coach. So instead of having two players that can't throw or catch, throw back and forth to each other, which essentially creates like 30 to 40 terrible reps, we're going to have a coach step in and throw really good reps, so the players are going to get good reps every time. This is iPassing. Now let's get into it. So I've been watching Brian Langtree from Six Star run these drills for years, ever since I was coaching with Grandview, and we would go to the Max Center to the box, and he'd be running these with the Highlands Ranch team. Now, I really started to see exactly how good these drills were when some of his players came from the Six Star program, and all of their basic fundamentals of how they're going to operate in the game were just locked in. But so let's get right into this drill. We're going to hop into Lacrosse Lab, and I'm going to show you exactly what this is like. So if you've never seen Lacrosse Lab, this is it. It is a digital play organizer where you can send plays to your teams. You can get a free account on lacrosselab.com, and then if you want to get my playbook, you can do that for $60 per year for an account for yourself. Or if you want to share it with your team, that's a part of the POWLAX Gold membership, where you also have to get a Lacrosse Lab team to share to, but it'll allow you to share the plays with your team. But so we're going to hop into drills. This is a passing drill. We're going to go down to iPassing, and now we are going to have the first one, which is pop to catch or V-cut to catch, right? And so the way that this drill is set up is we're going to have a line, and then we're going to have another player who is about 8 yards beyond the line. And so for the first one, we're only going to be using one ball. Now, you can run this in two different ways. You can run it where the player who's going to catch the ball is going to fill the line, or you can have this be a coach. But so depending on how you run it will make how you're going to move the balls a little bit differently. But so for this one, the player number 2 right here is going to V-cut. He's going to accept a pass from 1, and then he's going to go be the player who's throwing to 3, and it's just going to cycle that way. Now, after we do some going to the right, we're then going to do it going to the left. Now, the next way we can run this, if we have a coach, is we're going to have the same V-cut, the same catch, but now all the players are going to have a ball. And so the player is going to throw the ball to the coach. Coach is going to catch it. Player's going to V-cut. He's going to catch the ball, and now he's going to roll away to get back in line. And the drill is just going to continue in this manner. The next skill we can do is stepping away to pass, right? So not only do we need to V-cut to free our hands in order to catch the ball, but if we're running with a defenseman, we need to be able to step away to throw it. And so that's what this is. The players are going to V-cut, step away, throw the ball to the player ahead of them, and this player is then just going to come get back in line with that ball, and then they're just going to cycle through in that manner. The next drill we're going to do is ground balls. And so this red number 1 here is not a player, it's a ball, because basically within the Lacrosse Lab program, the balls have to be with someone. And so as you create turnovers and things, it's easy. You just can't let a ball kind of just be on the field. But so the player number 2 is going to run out, scoop the ball up, get his hands away, turn around, and throw back. So it's essentially like throw back ground balls. Now within this, I highly recommend you teach your players to communicate by saying, back, 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 or, right away, depending on what your ground ball terminology is. You're obviously going to have the player who's picking up the ground ball say, ball down, release, things of that nature. But so he throws it back to this player, he rolls it out, picks it up, rolls away now to his left, and that's how the drill continues. Next, we have over the shoulders. And so for this one, we're going to utilize the coach to make sure that the balls are being thrown in front of the players and not behind. But so if you have experienced players, obviously you can run it with the players as well. But so number 1 is going to throw the ball out to the coach. He is then going to V-cut and catch the ball over the shoulder and then get back in line, and then it continues with number 2 and number 3, etc. Now with this drill, you can absolutely set it up where you've got 5 or 6 separate lines all going at once, especially if you have the players that are skilled enough to do it. I do recommend if you get to 8 with a single coach, run a different drill because that's a little bit too little in terms of the number of reps. But I will say, regardless of if you have like 8 players in a line and under, as long as the reps are intense and they are doing what they need to do at game speed within the drill, they're going to benefit a lot more from this drill where they're going hard and doing it versus throwing and catching with other kids that don't really know what they're doing. Now we're going to watch some live footage, but before we do, this video is brought to you by the Youth Lacrosse Coaching Masterclasses. These are top to bottom masterclasses that I built to help bring coaches up to speed as quickly as possible so that they can create incredible environments without having to dig through all the random lacrosse information online, without having to go out of state for some coaching conferences, and without running through a bunch of information that they don't even know if it will apply to their team. But so there's the full version of the Youth Lacrosse Coaching Masterclass, which is for your middle school, high school level, where you're essentially doing the same things. The middle school and younger age groups just aren't going to be as good at it. But I will say the simplicity and keeping it simple into the older levels definitely helps regardless of which of those you are. And then there is a 8U/newcomer, where essentially if you're 8 and under, this is the type of practice and things you're going to need to know and be running. This is like the least information possible to have a really great practice experience, but it's also for like newcomers who are like 10 and under. But so definitely check out the Youth Lacrosse Coaching Masterclasses on POWLAX.com. Now let's get into the eye-passing videos. As we head into the live video, you'll notice we've got a line of players. Now, this was at a camp. If I was running this with the team that I had structured through time, I would be showing you a lot more intensity. This was the first drill we were doing at a lacrosse camp in the summer, and this was the first time many of these players were doing it, so the intensity isn't necessarily what I would want it to be if I was coaching the team. But so the first drill we have is stepping away to pass. So this player is going to come to the cone, he's going to step away, and he's going to pass the ball. I actually throw it back to the wrong guy here in a second. But so then you throw it back to that player, and you're supposed to just get back in line. Then we'll go to pop to pass and catch. So now this player, they're going to throw it early, then they're going to V-cut, and then catch the ball. Then we're going to go through our ground balls to the left. And so within this, I'm actually just rolling out the ball for all the players. You can do it where you have them throw back to each other, but some of our players weren't really good at catching, so having them throw back to me made a lot more sense than having them, throw back to another player who rolled it out for themselves. But so they learn the idea of scooping through, ball down, release, getting their hands away, and turning and throwing with their stick away from the middle. Then we're going to turn the other direction. Now, one of the things with this drill is that we're not going to have them scoop up the ball with either hand. They're going to scoop it up with their strong hand. It doesn't really make much sense to scoop with your offhand. There are times when you could do it, and if you are going to do it offhand, sometimes it is a little more comfortable because you actually have your strong hand on the bottom of the stick. But either way, we're scooping through, we're doing a wide turn away, and then we're throwing back. Next, we've got our over the shoulder, where players are going to throw the ball here, and then they're going to cut over the shoulder. Got to lead them. And then they're just getting a lot of reps of catching over the shoulder. Now, this is one of the ones where if we were running this with a bunch of players, if this were the group, they would not have had the opportunity to even catch it over the shoulder because the players wouldn't have made the pass thrown where they needed it to be. But so that is the eye passing drill. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions on it. Make sure to check out the Youth Lacrosse Coaching Masterclass as well as the Player and Parents Guide to Lacrosse. Have a good one, and I will see you guys in the next video.